Near bottom left edge. Stop recording video. Near bottom edge. Speech off.
Alright, hi everybody. It's the Georgieverse. I know it's been a while. Well, maybe it's not been a while. I do schedule my videos, so maybe not such a long time since I've put something up. But in terms of actually recording something, it's been a few weeks and days, and that's because I've been working on my mental health. And so I wanted to make a video. Something I thought that maybe some people would be able to relate to. And I thought maybe it would be helpful just to be able to see the person talking about this, so it would seem more personal. I'm gonna put my hand up like this. Maybe I'll turn on my voiceover so I'll know where my face is, so you guys, I'll know, like, if you guys can see me.
Speech on.
Excuse me.
Near bottom edge.
Just checking to see where.
Near bottom left edge.
Where are we looking? I forgot to put on lip gloss, didn't I? Oh well.
Near bottom edge.
Well, I'll do my left.
Near bottom right edge.
Well.
Near bottom edge. One face near bottom edge. Center.
Alright.
Near speech off.
I'll never understand the camera. I don't get the camera at all, but front facing seems to be a little bit easier, so I don't know. I don't get it. So just let me know in the comments if this worked. I have trouble taking criticism. A lot of my friends have said it, and it's so true. This is because I grew up being insulted, basically, by my parents. I grew up in a very abusive home, as you guys may know, or that has been mentioned on this channel if you guys have gone through the playlist. I will post it in the description for other videos that you want to that you would maybe want to watch. Because of the environment that I grew up in, I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder that I am hoping to heal through, and I will be healing through because I go to therapy every single week on Wednesday nowadays, and I have been learning a lot of new coping mechanisms and realizing a lot of my bad habits, and I've realized something new about myself today, and it was one of the things I wanted to share with you. So, insults versus criticism. When I was growing up, you know, my parents would just be mad, and they would just say hurtful things without knowing it. You know, like, sometimes you get upset with your friends, and you just say, oh, you're ugly, and it would be something like that. And criticism, I think, is more to help. I think critique, you critique a writer's work, you critique a meal, you critique to help someone. It's like, oh, this needs a little bit more salt, this needs a little bit more paprika. You do it because you care and you want the person to do better next time. So maybe you're not ugly, but maybe you could fix up your mascara a little bit. I can show you how to do it better next time. Versus, oh, you look like crap. Let's say that the other day I made vegetables for my family. It was my first time really cooking for the family. Let's say that it turned out bad. It didn't, but let's say it did. Let's say that it tasted really bad, you know? They could have said, oh, this tastes like garbage. Or they could have said, Georgia, you know, it's really plain. It didn't, you know, the spices you chose were really bad. Or they, could have just, you know, they could just say, you know, maybe find a recipe, or we'll show you a recipe for how we make the vegetables.
Speech on. Take picture. Stop recording video. But face near bottom left edge. Near bottom edge.
Seriously.
Near bottom right edge. Near bottom edge.
What am I doing wrong? And
Center. Speech off.
that would work out fine, because normally someone would hear that and they'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm getting help for next time. The problem is I grew up in an environment, I grew up until I was 15. Now let's say this, I'm 22 years old right now. I grew up in an environment being called ugly. Let's say that, let's use that as our metaphor for being insulted. Being called ugly, straight up ugly, until I was 15. I didn't start getting critiqued properly until I was 16. So it's going to take a while for me to really get to know what to get used to knowing what to do with a proper critique. And I think that's what the struggle is. And it's not that I don't try, it's just hard. And so I just want people out there to know that in the beginning, you're not alone if you struggle with that sort of same feeling of, you know, I want to hear my flaws. I tell my friends, be honest with me, be brutally honest. And then they say, Georgette, you can't take criticism. And I fall apart. And I'm like, why would you say that to me? Why would you say this about me? Why would you say that I do this? And they're like, but you told us to. And I'm like, I did. Like later on, I'm looking back and I'm like, I really overreacted. I did tell them to say that. I did say this and that. And I realized that they're right. But in the moment, I am so prepared to be called ugly. My brain, my body, we're all ready to guard ourselves. Not necessarily, I mean, like, we're ready to attack if we need to, so that's why we go and yell at our friends, and we're like, and I'm like, oh, well, you're ugly, right? And I insult my friends, and that's when, like, I'm frustrated, and that's when I'm really stressed out. But then, if I'm the one where I'm guarding myself, I just cry, you know, and my friends are like, why are you crying? You know, like, I just said what you wanted me to say. I said you were this and this, and then I cry. And it's like, why would you say that to me? So, like, you're on the defense or offense. So it's like, with my parents, I was always on the, I felt that I was always on the offense. I never knew when to be on the defense with them, because you just couldn't predict what was going to happen. So I just always felt that I was always switching between defense and offense, actually. I never knew which to be on which day. So I would go between them. On 1 second, you could be on the defense, guarding whatever, and then on offense, actually, I don't think I was ever on the offense. Offensive would be more like you throwing the shots, and of course, as a kid, you're never throwing the shots, so I would be more on the defense or passive. And I fell more into the passive category as I got older. So I would just want to basically say, I struggle with, you know, taking criticism, and a lot of kids and adults, young adults, children, people struggle with taking criticism, but I think if you grew up in a home where it was really strict, or where you grew up with a lot of criticism or pressure to be really perfect as well, and things like that, it is going to be a little bit harder, because you're going to have to reset your mind when you move out of that environment. And I know that it's up to you how you respond to the environment and everything. And that's supposed to be like very inspiring and everything. But it is a very interesting progress. It is an interesting journey to go through. There's not just a switch in your brain that's gonna just say, stop responding badly to criticism, and then you just take everyone's criticism the way it's supposed to be taken. Unfortunately, there are so many things people tell me, and I notice it, and I know that it's something that I have to fix. And there are so many days that I lay in bed, and it's horrible, especially with my trauma and knowing that my parents put me in this situation. And sometimes I get so mad at them. I get so mad at my parents. I get so mad at the people who tell me. I'm like, if they think it's so easy, why don't they do it? Why don't they, I get so mad at my parents sometimes, because it's like, it's your fault. You put me here, and you're never going to have to see me pick up the pieces and put myself back together. And then I get mad sometimes at the people who tell me to, like, forgive and forget. Sometimes people tell, like, kids to forgive their parents that were abusive because they were their parents. You do not owe your parents anything. And I mean that in terms of abuse. Just know that too. Emotionally abusive, physically, sexually, just because they're your parents, I don't think they should get special treatment. I think they need to earn it, because they took something very special, and they took a human right away from you, and they need to work for whatever relationship they want. They need to work for it. And for everyone out there who struggles through trauma, who's going to therapy, who's working through their problems, their PTSD, working to be a better person. It's 2024, it's a new year. We're all trying to be better, and everyone's talking about New Year's resolutions, and sometimes that might sting a little bit, because it's like what you hear about sometimes every day. Sometimes you hear about it a little more. I just want you to know that I feel you, and I want you to know that you're not alone. And I hope that helps. I hope that it helps to have proof that you're not alone. You're not alone. Oh gosh, I didn't think I was gonna get emotional.
Speech on. Stop recording video button.